So before we return to your calls, emails, texts, and tweets, in Roaster at the moment there is the Live Pro-Am Golf Tournament, and they've got a lot of great sports stars and showbiz stars taking part, including our next guest, formerly of Manchester United in England, turned out with a couple of fine cricketers on the golf course today. It's Paul Scholes. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul. How are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, we're good. I remember you're out with Sam Curran and Liam Livingston. You were a pretty decent cricketer in your day, didn't you? Didn't you turn out again a couple of years ago?
I did, yes. I used to play quite a bit when I was a little kid, but obviously the football stopped that, and our local village team up on Mill asked me if I play a couple of 2020s for them a couple of years ago, and I quickly realised I was too old to do that as well.
So was you an all-rounder, Paul, then? Because you think, well, if the batting didn't work, I've got a bit of bowling up my sleeve.
I had a bit of everything, yeah. Bowling, batting number 4, either opening or first. Look, it wasn't a great standard, don't get me wrong. It was like a village cricket, but I love my cricket. I love watching it as well. So play with these two lads here today. How far do they hit a golf ball? It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm a little bit embarrassed hitting after them.
Paul, can I ask you, we're playing in these golf days, right? I play off about 20, 22. First of all, you ask people, what's your handicap? And you want someone... What do you play off yourself?
I play off 6.
Oh, wow. So that's proper golfing as well. So you're under no pressure, because the first tee nerves.
I thought it was proper golf until I started playing with these two lads. These are off 4 and 6 as well, and they're hitting it 100 yards past me. They're actually waving at me now to come and tee off, but sorry about that.
What I always say to people, if you're going to be rubbish and quick, so you don't get on the low handicappers' nerve. Do you know what I mean? Just get your ball and get on with it.
Well, this took 3 hours to 9 holes, so it's certainly not quick.
So, quick one on the Man United front. I mean, you feeling a bit more optimistic about the season? The hierarchy's changed. The manager knows he's in place. They've sorted all their issues out. Some new players coming in. So how are you feeling about the season, Paul?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. Look, I think there is definitely stability there, which is good from the outside looking in. From the backroom staff, it looks a little bit more stable. They're signing 2 young players who, I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen loads of, but by all accounts, the defender has settled in really well, looks a good player. I haven't seen a lot of the centre forward either. So we'll just have to wait and see. Look, it's great the manager's going to stay. I think what he did in that cup final probably saved his job, because Manchester United were really good on that day, and that's something they have to find is a bit of consistency. If they can do that, then hopefully they'll have a chance of having a good season and working their way towards the Champions League.
Paul, is the worry, though, let's be honest, that Dave Brailsford and they don't really fancy Erik Ten Hag, and he's 2-3 games away from a crisis.
Yeah, Perry, I think that has to be a bit of concern. There were rumours that other managers were spoken to, and you'd have to feel there's not that great a confidence in him, but he's got a chance now. I think you got to give him credit. A lot of people spoke about his job, that he was in a tricky situation, but he's fought through it. And there's a lot of managers that probably would have walked away when they heard that they were speaking to other top managers. Tuchel was probably one that was mentioned the most. So look, he's got to get off to a good start. There's no doubt about that. And I think, as you say, probably 2 or 3 bad results. At Man United, I know it's always a crisis, 2 or 3 bad games. But if that happens again, you'd have to think they could possibly be looking elsewhere.
Just before you tee off, quick one on England. A couple of things. Do you think it should be an English manager to take over from Gareth Southgate? And if so, if you're given the choice of Eddie Howe or Graham Potter, which way are you going, Paul?
I don't think it's massively important as an English manager. I think in time gone by I would have liked it to be an English manager, but I think we've got to get the best for these group of players now. We all know Pep is the best. I think especially with this group of players, they do have a feel of a Manchester City about them, but they just can't seem to get over the line. Now, English-wise, I think Eddie Howe's the best suited to it. He's done a good job at Newcastle. Okay, he's still not got them over the line. I think he'll do well. I think he'll do as well as Gareth Southgate. But can somebody like him get them? Which the magic thing is getting them over the line, which Gareth unfortunately couldn't quite do. Now, as I said, Pep would be the one for me, but how realistic is that? I'm not too sure.
I actually think you're right, Paul, with Eddie Howe. Front foot football wants to go on attack. This is what this group of players will be suited to.
Yeah.
Just on the shirts, but Rasmus Højlund's been given the number 9 shirt. Do you think there's anything sort of big in that? Certain numbers for certain players?
Well, yeah, they're normal, isn't it? The number 9 to me means you're the main centre forward. And to be fair, last year he was the only centre forward. I think United, they really need to strengthen that area. Look, I don't like going back to when we played, but we had 3 or 4 centre forwards who were out of this world, and you're talking getting 80 to 100 goals between them. Now, Rasmus Højlund came in last year as a young player, and he was asked to play every week, and you need to come in and out. There's not the strength in depth in that position at the club, and look, they've tried to address it with Xerxes. Whether they'll get 1 or 2 more, I don't know, but I think that's an area of the pitch where United definitely need to be better.
We're holding up the hole, Paul. We're going to have the marshal out soon, so we'll let you crack on. Appreciate your time. Take care.
I've missed my tea time here, lads. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. All the best. Take care.
It's all right. The beer trolley will be round in a minute, so they'll be fine.
Rupert's calling in, saying, he's clanging everybody up. Yeah, oh dear me. So there we are, the amateur roaster there at the Live Golf 2024 official Pro-Am. This Paul Scholes going with a bit of Eddie Howe. I mean, he didn't sound completely convinced about. Didn't sound particularly buoyed by United next year. I suppose have a bit of trepidation.
Yeah, but I think he was
knows what's going to happen.
He was just being honest because they can put whatever spin they want. Gypsy Jim Ratcliffe and Stel Browser, right? They went and looked for anybody else apart from Ten Hag, and then realised that no one was going to take the job, and they left it. And any organisation, if from the top, Ten Hag knows that they don't really fancy him. And if they get a couple of, as Paul said there, a couple of dodgy results, the players know that the owners don't really fancy the manager. So
you think they only gave him the gig because they couldn't find anybody better at the moment?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Because they said they had, a review. Man United come 8th last season and they lost 14 games. They stunk the place out, basically. And he was brilliant in the FA Cup final. Tactically, got it really, spot on. But they actually went backwards from where they were like the season before. So I just think it doesn't sit easy, And it'd be interesting how Man United fans feel, if they're going to back Ten Hag to the hilt, or as I say, I think that if they have any,
I think you've got to, haven't you? But I mean, if they make a slightly rocky start, then that same narrative is going to emerge, the one we had before that,
Yeah, but it doesn't take 2 weeks for a review, does it? To review Manchester United season, it doesn't take you 2 weeks to know what's gone on, and to know that they've gone backwards. But then he signed, obviously, extension to his contract. And weirdly, when they went to think, they said, saw him in Ibiza, didn't they? Went over to meet him. And really, weirdly, the power went back to Ten Hag. Because he said it was a brutal conversation. So he's probably thinking, I've got nothing to lose here. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. Yeah. As he would.
We shall see. We're still to come this afternoon. We've got the birthday spread coming up. We did ask you to get in touch on all manner of things this afternoon. We've been talking a bit about Emile Smith-Rowe and Conor Gallagher and some of the other players that could be on the move at the moment. This is coming from Dan, who says, remember when ice skating, I remember when I was ice skating, having to go a size down because all the 9s were gone, but the ice rink's own boots are made of solid plastic. I felt like I had 10 ingrown toenails when I skated for 20 minutes.
So, but once you get into the groove of those ice skating boots on, you can't there's no going anywhere. It's just like Todd Carty. Remember Todd Carty on Dance on Ice? We just went straight off.
Would you do Dancing on Ice, Perry?
I would. I think I'd be the Bez. I'd be the comedy value. Do you know what I mean?
Have you been offered any reality telly?
I got to the last, I think it was 35 of I'm Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
The last 35.
And then that was it. There was no more. There was no more communications. That was it. It was done.
So they wanted you. They wanted you to go in. Do you fancy? Would you?
In a heartbeat.
You would have done all right.
Exactly.
On the old eating challenges and all that.
I'd have done a Freddie, because Freddie Flintoff went and he did the Australian one as well, didn't he? And he told them that he couldn't stand spiders and whatever, so he knew that I was giving him trials with spiders on, and he was all right with spiders. He just told him everything that he was okay with. Yeah, he told me he didn't like it. And that was it. So
that would have been that would have been okay.
Yeah, but I must admit, I would have told him that I love heights.
Right.
And I can't stand. Honestly, I can't. When you see him do that plank when they walk out, on the plank right at the start of that. No, your head is actually telling you haven't got wings. You're not meant to be up here. That's what your head's telling you.
But you have got a parachute. And probably someone you're strapped to who's in control of it.
Yeah, you've still got to tell yourself that when you're, 400 or 500 metres up in the air. Not for me, thanks.
They weren't brilliant in the cup final. VAR got them into the cup final. I take that's a City fan. They've not put their name on that. Yeah, we all.
But the toe was offside, to be fair, in the semi-final.
Yeah, that was such a bleak moment. I don't know why, because we all know the kind of laws of the game. We all know how VAR works. But there was something so. I mean, not if you're a Manchester United fan, obviously, but it was just like the soul of football.
Absolutely.
When, one of those great stories that we would have seen if Cov had kind of got over the line in that match with that goal. And you just think that. I mean, I know offside is offside. People are going to be saying, but man,
it's a joy sucker.
It was a joy sucker, wasn't it? Really.
And
the oxygen masks were coming out the ceiling at that point.
Exactly. That was the equivalent. Remember Chesterfield? I think Middlesbrough in the semi-final where they hit the outside crossbar and the ball actually went in and bounced out.
Yeah.
That can change football clubs. Futures, can't it?
Yeah.
I think Sean Dyche scored a penalty for Chesterfield in that semi-final, didn't he? I think, But as you said there, that was like, oh, really? And that's what VAR does. It's like, you've just taken the complete joy out of football.
Yeah, unless, as we said, you're a United fan. So, what have we got up next? Well, we're going to be talking about Chariots of Fire and the fact that you've not heard a great deal about it in the build-up to these Olympics. Certainly not from France anyway, considering it is the centenary Olympics and the film was massive. And if anybody knows an old Olympic story, they probably know Jesse Owens and they know 24 and
slow motion
Abrahams.
On the beach.
They know all of that.
Exactly. But there is a train of thought that saved the Olympics, the modern day Olympics. That saved it, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very troubled Olympics. There's quite a lot of very interesting parallels between that Olympics and this one. So we'll touch on that with our next guest, who is the author of a fine book on that Olympics and the Chariots of Fire story. So, Mark Ryan popping in to see us in a few moments' time. We are, of course, here with Toolstation. Don't forget their Toolstation Club. Join the brand new loyalty programme. Get 5% off every order, 18 plus. T's and C's apply.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons, 1 till 4. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.